everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back with me in my craft room here at Random Acts of Stampin'. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I am here to inspire and create hopefully some lovely items that you would be interested in making for yourself, to give away and that sort of thing. So I will have a description in the drop down box below this video that will tell you exactly how you can obtain all the supplies that I'm using in today's video. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to help you with all of your stamping needs from Stampin' Up! If you need a catalog, please reach out to me and I will either show you how to download a virtual copy, or if you are interested and you make a $50 purchase in my store, then I will mail you out a catalog. They are pricey catalogs and the postage on them is pretty pricey. If you just want one and you're not interested in placing an order, I'll be more than glad to send you one for $5. It would be a $5 charge because that's pretty much what it's going to cost me in postage to get that catalog out to you. So anyway, enough of the housekeeping business. Let's get down to creating, because that's what we love to do. We are going to center our attention today on this Tasteful Touches, and this is a cling stamp set from Stampin' Up! And as you can see, it has some very beautiful soft features on it. Even to the font, they're very soft and sort of just has kind of a delicate feel with the flower, the feather, the very airy font that they used here in the sentiments, even the little lacy place here. You've got these little squares that makes a good little background for stamping a sentiment or whatever. I don't know that we're going to use either one of those today, but we are going to be using the flower and we're going to be using these little branches. I think they're gorgeous. And also we're going to be using In Good Taste Designer Series paper. Now let me show you. I did pull out this piece that looks like tile. And this is the piece that we're going to be using today. Isn't that pretty? On the card, it's going to actually look like that was embossed. But this paper pack is absolutely adorable. I think it's just lovely, lovely paper. Here's the tile on the back of this beautiful wood grain. This looks like a woven texture. And then you've got the subway tiles there. Again, that woven. And look at that rich grain. And look at that. That looks like it's been dry brushed. Beautiful. Beautiful paper. Look at this piece. Look at that wood and then look at the back. Isn't that gorgeous? Everything with Stampin' Up. Look at that beautiful gray. This looks like almost like a cement slab. And the textures on this right here is just lovely. I got to bring this one out. Look at that. It looks like it is elevated. You see how some of the bricks look like they're sitting up? There's nothing sitting up on that paper. It's an optical illusion, and I love, love, love that. These are 12 by 12 sheets, and you get 2 of each design. And look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Look at the richness of the wood. I mean, it looks like real wood. Gorgeous. And I mean, there's not a piece of paper in here that I'm not crazy about, because, oh my goodness, look at that. And now it makes me a second thought the piece that I cut, but I'm going to stay committed and I'm going to go with what I originally planned. We will come back and address some of these other papers fairly soon because these are too pretty not to use. Okay, I'm going to lay that back there, and I am going to center in on what we're going to make our card base out of, and that's going to be a black. And I've got some pieces cut right here. And what you're going to need is you're going to need an 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and that's going to give us our card base. You're going to need another piece for your front mat that's cut out of that beautiful tile, and that piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need a piece cut at 4 1/4 by 1 1/4, and that is going to live across the middle of your card. And then we're going to need to do some stamping. So we're also going to need a piece for the inside that is 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to cut that out of this. This was some scraps that I had left over, so I'm going to lay those over to the side. I'm going to get my trimmer, and I am going to, let's lay the card base over here. I'm going to cut off of this what I need for my mat for the inside. So we're going to cut this at 4. And this should already be 5 1/2, but we need it to be 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 is right there. So as you can see, we're just taking off that 1/4 inch. And now we have our mat for the inside. Okay, I think we got all the cutting of the pieces done. So now we can do the fun part. We can do some stamping. And I really think this card is going to be lovely once we get it put together. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to work on this piece right here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to grab my shaded spruce, and I am going to take out this piece of greenery, and we are going to stamp this here and down here. And we want to make sure that this little piece right here is going to cover our little limbs so that they're kind of tucked away, sort of like that, and then sort of like that. We just want where we don't see the crossing of them. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this way first. We'll get that positioned about where we want it. And let me grab a stamp block, and I'm gonna use this one right here, and I'm gonna pick that up. I love these cling stamps. They are so wonderful. And let's go ahead and ink this up. I know sometimes it's scary to stamp on your designer paper, but do not be afraid. That's what we have paper for, is to make beautiful things. And sometimes, oops, you know, I got a little bit too much ink on that. Got a little zealous with my ink. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to scrub that off pretty good because I got ink all up in the edges of it. Places I did not want ink to go. And I think I just got a little too happy-handed with my... One thing about Stampin' Up! Inks is you have to have a gentle touch. And see, that looks pretty without over-inking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp right about here. And I'm stamping in that beautiful ink called Shaded Spruce. Beautiful. Now I want to lay this across here because I need to get a feel of where I want this one to go. And I want it to go right about there, just about where I thought. And we are going to put this one right about here. And that is gorgeous. Now I'm just going to wipe this stamp off. And if you're wondering what I'm using, I am using our Stampin' Scrub. And look how big this is. This is a humongous stamp cleaner. It has like that Velcro little pieces that stick up. That's just like a... I don't know what it is, but it works beautifully. You can wet this with water, or you can just wet it with a stamp cleaner, or I always say use a little bit of both. You can reactivate your stamp cleaner. So I'm going to show you. Look at this huge bottle. This is your bottle of stamp cleaner from Stampin' Up! It's called Stampin Mist. I'll put the link below for this as well. But you just put a little bit on your stamp pad, and you can come back and reactivate that anytime you need to, just by adding a little bit of water. So that makes it really easy to clean your stamps, and see how wonderful it cleans, even with a pigment ink or a dye ink. And we're using dye inks. That's what the Stampin' Up! Pads are. They are definitely dye inks. Okay, so what we want to do next is we want to go ahead and glue this down across our card. But before I do that, I think I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal, and this is just the regular. I'm going to get it started so we have the sticky already showing on there. And I'm just going to do a little bit along here. And a little bit across the bottom. And then I'm going to put just a tiny little amount right in the middle, just to make sure we get really good adhesion to our card. Now, I like to lay the edge of my card to the corner. This is how I get my edges even. Once I get, and I can see the top and the bottom is looking about the same, then I know that I can commit that down, and I don't have any worries of not getting it straight. This is the technique that works best for me. And you might ask me, where did I learn that? That was learned by trial and error. One day I was trying to get a piece to go down, and I just could not get it to go down straight. So I just tried laying it on the edge, and wow, hey, that worked. So I love that technique. So we're going to do the same thing with this, and we're going to put this piece right across here. And this is a very simple card. This is something that anybody with just stamps and a ruler could make. So it's not like it takes any special equipment. If you got the stamp set or any floral stamp set, you could make this and use whatever pattern paper you have. But if you love this paper and this particular stamp set, by all means, look me up, and if you need help ordering, don't hesitate to call me. My phone number is listed above the website, and I will help take care of you in whatever it is that you're needing. So I'm going to drop this about halfway, making sure that I'm covering those stems in the middle. So that looks good right there. Alright, so that's committed. Then while I was off camera, before we started, I did some flowers, and that was done with this particular floral stamp, this one right here. And all I done was use my Stampin' Blends. I used the Balmy Blue, the dark and the light, to color in the flowers and get some blending and shading. And then I used the light Daffodil Delight for my centers. But I also did it in the flamingo pink. I think this is this is the dark flirty flamingo and the light flirty flamingo. So I did both of these because I wasn't sure. I am tending toward these two. I really love that look of that blue against the black and the tile. And I really think I like that better than I do the pink. So I'm going to save those pink ones because I will use those on another project. So all I did was I stamped them in my Momento ink. And then I used my Stampin' Blend markers, like I said, Balmy Blue and the light Daffodil Delight. So those were the ones that I'm using for this particular card. But as you can see, you can change this up and use any color that you like best. So don't feel like that you can't change things up. It doesn't have to be the way I do it. You can do your own thing. And you might like the pink better than the blue. But I am a blue girl, so there are so many times that I prefer using a blue because it's my favorite color. We all have our favorites. Now don't get me wrong, I love some pink and I love red. But sometimes there's just a certain color that looks good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fussy cut these, and I'm going to do kind of an in and out cut. Anytime I'm dealing with flowers or greenery or anything like that, I want it to look as natural as possible. So I do this little in and out cut, just like that. And that gives me kind of sort of a feel of it being a real petal. I don't know what it does when you cut like that, but It just doesn't have to be perfect. And working your scissors like that back and forth, to me, it is just lovely. So here we go again, back and forth, and back and forth, just like that. And then sometimes you might want to just come straight across, but I really like that back and forth little cut. I think it makes it look very clean, and just gives your piece a little bit more of a natural look. So I'm just going to continue to cut and cut. And we're going to make sure we don't have any pieces on there. So now one of these flowers is going to get put down right about here, and another one on the other side. So let's go ahead and cut this one. Again, I'm going to do that same little technique where I'm just kind of going kind of like a little pink and sheer cut. And sometimes I just pretend like the music is rocking my scissors, even though I don't have music on. But I just like to, pretend. Do y'all like to pretend? Sometimes it's nice. It's a nice little getaway from maybe problems that we're facing, whether they be our personal problems or world problems, the pandemic, all of the racial unrest. Pray for our country. Pray for our people. We need love. We need love now more than ever, and there's just too much hatred out there. I love everybody. You know, if people are nice to me, and I find out how you reap kindness is to show kindness, and I try my best to do that on a daily basis. So just keep going around, in and out, until you get all of your little flower completely cut. And you can see this is not a hard flower to cut. You've got nice angles here, and it's not a hard thing to do at all. And you're done. So that was fairly an easy little thing to do. I'm going to show you what I like to do. I'm going to use this black Stampin' Blend marker, but you can use any black marker that you have. Even a Sharpie will work. And what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up to make it look a little bit better. You want to always come in with your marker to the back, and we are just going to go across these little white edges, getting up in all the creases. And make sure you do it in the back, because see what happened? If your finger slips, it's going to write on the back. You know, it's going to write on the back of it instead of the front. So always do it with your marker to the back, and then you won't have any mishaps and ruin your piece from the front. So once we get around this, I'm going to show you the difference between the two. And you're going to see then what a beautiful technique this is for creating those beautiful little die cut pieces that you want to look professional. Now look at the difference. Can you see that? Let me bring it up a little bit closer. And look how pretty that is. It just looks more done to me. So I'm going to go ahead and follow suit and make sure this one looks the same way. So I'm going to start right here. It doesn't matter where you start, just have a beginning point and an ending point. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to get that little border edge all the way around. And you can do the same thing if you've got a distress inker, a little finger dauber, and you could do this with just some Distress Oxide ink or whatever. You could use a black suit. However you like to do that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these flowers down, and I want one to go about like that, and I want the other one to go about like this. Maybe something like that. Well, that's going to be so pretty. And I am going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to put these down with, because I want these flowers to pop just a little bit. So we are going to just take out some of our regular size dimensionals. And I'm going to probably put 4 on each flower. All the way to the edges. And then let's turn this one over. And let's get out some more. And let's put these down the same way. All the way to the edge. Just like that. Alright, that was easy. Now let's get our Take Your Pick tool. And let's remove our backers. I love this. I love doing it with these because they come off so easy every time. And look, they're wrangled. You can drop them right in the trash, and then you don't have all these little pieces floating around your craft room, on your floor, stuck to your butt, or wherever else they might end up sticking. So we're going to stick this one down right about, let's do that one right there. And then we're going to do this one right about, you know what? I should have done it the other direction. Let's see if we can get it up without tearing our paper. It's tearing it a little bit, but you know what? That's going to be covered with the flower. So, let's see. Do I want those to go in that direction? I want this one to go up. Yeah, I want this one to go up. I probably had it right to start with, and then I want this one to go facing down. Okay, regroup. That's what I want. So now what we need to do is, I'm just checking to see if I've got, okay. We're going to need to cut something to put here for a sentiment. So I'm going to go to my dies. I love using my dies for, this Tasteful Labels would be beautiful on there. We don't want anything too very big because I don't want to cover up so much of my flowers, but let's look at this one. Let's look at this one right here, because I think that would be perfect. And I think I want to do this in some of the Whisper White that we used a while ago. So that would be right here. So now let's see which one of these will fit in there. And how about this one, You Are So Special? I think that would fit in there beautifully. So I'm going to stamp this right about here. And I'm going to check and make sure that I can cut that out of there. And I think that will work. So let me grab my stamp block. Did I put it away? There we go. As I always do whenever I'm doing a sentiment, I want to line it up here on my grid and then pick it up. I just have so much better results when I do that. So I'm going to grab my Momento. Boy, did I make noise. I am so sorry. I'm going to grab the stamp block and with the stamp on it, and I am going to do my very best, my level best, to ink this up really good. I may want to stamp this off over here, and it's getting a pretty good image. And then I'm going to stamp it right about here. Oh, very good. Very, very good. And somehow I have gotten ink on this paper, and I don't want to get that up there where I just stamped. So let me grab a wipe and get a little bit of this ink off of my fingers to start off with. And we're going to grab our die cut machine. I'm not going to bring it over. I am using the new Stampin' Up die cut machine, and I'm here to tell y'all, and I say this in every video, I am loving this machine. Okay, we're going to cut that out right like that. And I'm going to use, since we don't have the magnetic plate yet, I'm going to use some of these little post-it flags. These work wonderful for holding your dies in place. So if you struggle with your dies moving, this will be what you will want to put down. So I'm putting down my 1 plate, my 2 plate, a 3 plate, and then another 3 plate over top. And I'm going to crank it through. Nice little pop there. Sound like a chiropractor. I don't know if y'all ever been to a chiropractor or not, but oh my goodness, if you can relax enough for them to crack your neck, oh, the feeling that you get when your neck is cracked is phenomenal. Alrighty, now we can just put this down right there. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Now this one, I think I'm going to use just some regular Tombow glue. And I am just going to do some glue all over the back of this because I'm not sure exactly where this is going to stick. Do I want to put that over to the side or in the middle? I'm kind of liking it off to the side. And then I need a stamping dimensional up underneath there, just to kind of support it. And I should have seen that before I actually stuck it down, but that's okay. We can still put one here. Yep. Let's move it back just a hair. And I'm going to pull that backer off, hopefully without making a total mess here. And then we can just press that down. Oh, I love it. I love that. I think it's so pretty. Now we want to use a couple of our pearls. These are the little flat pearls that have the adhesive on the back. So I want to pull one of these up. They're always so nice when they come with the adhesive. And we're going to put one right there. And then I'm going to do one of the small ones right about here. And I think I want to put, oops, sometimes I get just a bit too zealous with my pearls. I think I want this one to go right about there. And that dresses that card up tremendously. Alright, so now we need to decide what we're going to put on our sentiment that goes on the inside. And here's our mat for the inside. And let's see, you are so special. The good things in life are better with you. That is such a wonderful little sentiment. And let's see how that would look. And you know, I think I might want to stamp that rose over in the corner, kind of off the page in that Balmy Blue. Wouldn't that be pretty? Let's try it. Let's try Balmy Blue and see what this will look like. And here's our Balmy Blue. We'll just be carrying out more of that color into here. And I'm thinking I may want to stamp off a little bit. So I'm going to bring this piece of paper back. And I'm going to clean the stamp so that I have it all ready to go for next time. I think this might be very pretty, just a little shadow of it. Let's see what it looks like stamped off. Oh, that's pretty. I like that one too, though. I think I'm going to do it just like this. And then a little bit up in this corner. Just a tad little bit. I am going to wipe my surface off so I don't make a mess. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I love creating like this. It is so my jam. So let's clean it up. And let's see, what else do we want to do? Do we want to use that texture and stamp it off? I don't think so. I think I'm going to go directly with this. So let me grab this longer stamp block, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring it over here to my grid, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and straight. Like I said, if you can get it straight on your stamp block, half of your battle is over. And I got a little too zealous with my ink again. I am going to do it in the Balmy Blue because I think it just needs that. That is so pretty. And what is so great, everything coordinates with the flowers. And again, that is the beauty of everything Stampin' Up. The fact that you can have everything match. Let's get this ink put away before somebody, and we won't mention her name, puts her hand down in the ink and has a glorious mess. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal again, and I am just going to put some adhesive along here. And a little bit across the bottom. I think we need a little bit there. And dab in the middle. And now we're going to set this down. The same thing. I'm using that same principle. And set it down. And there we go. Another gorgeous card that you would be proud to give anyone. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I hope you've been inspired. I hope that you will pull out some of your tools. And like I said, if you would like to purchase any of the products that I used on this card, I will have everything listed below along with my website. Just go over and click. And like I said, if you need help ordering, give me a call, shoot me an email, however you like to do it. If you would feel better shooting me an email or a text message, the phone number listed is my cell phone, because we do not have a home phone. We cut the cord quite a few years ago, and I'll be more than glad to help you get this the supplies you would need for this card. It is stunning. So I love you all very much. I hope that we can craft again soon. God bless you. Be kind to someone today. Show some love. Show people that you are bigger than the problems in the world, that you care about them, and that you're there for them. It will mean so, so much. So God bless and keep you. I love you all very much. And as I always say in closing, and I will always say this, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until we craft again, bye-bye.